Yeah, I had one thing with the QR code and another like informational poster.
Okay.
Oh, good. So it came after, shortly after.
Well, I like this.
Good. Try to keep it short.
Then how come it's a whole page?
Oh, well, it's hard. I
It's small.
can't do it. I just, you know,
Print is too
I'm a
big.
rambler, I guess.
So is this that?
Well, we'll
Won't be a
talk
time.
about it, but we're gonna miss the deadline. Well, we won't miss the deadline. It just won't happen before the meeting. The
Yeah.
Gazette, the next Gazette comes after the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think about that before. Oh, yeah.
Well, if you've got a poster made up, then
We can disseminate it.
put it on Facebook.
Mhm.
Get the word out.
Yeah, so I suppose the printer doesn't connect easily. Would you? You may be connected to that email. Would you, print off a couple copies of the two attachments I sent most recently?
Printed off the long document.
Yep, there's the document and then there's, I just sent, right before I got here, yep, the two posters. Just, thank you.
Is what I was
Yeah. You got it. That's why when you
pretty
started
well.
talking about that, I thought you gotta read Sam's letter. That won't be in color, does it?
I don't think so, that's fine, get the idea.
So how's all the kids?
Holy cow, like, it took up all my time today. Yeah, yeah. No, it was good. Carolyn Cohn stopped by and she got to hang out with the babies for like, Carolyn Cohn
Oh, okay.
for almost an hour.
Wow.
This doesn't happen. People don't usually stop by. So it was nice.
Well, he did just show up.
Yep.
You know, it's-
Yep. No, and she just caught it. So it was the right timing and everything. I always leave the door open, the front door open, so you can like see in and it's kind of like a,
It's always, if it's a bad time, it's a bad time. See you.
yeah, yep.
See you tomorrow.
I've learned now to put a sticky note on the door that says babies are napping, not knock.
Yeah.
Oh, and you want to ruin my
I
afternoon?
always appreciate that too.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh, there was a different one. There's two. I see what you did though. But we're gonna need these anyway, so, paper not wasted. There's one more attachment and it's got more words on it, but it's a
More
poster.
words.
It's PDF. Yeah.
Okay, did you say someone sent the email? There were two attachments?
There were attachments in two separate emails. Didn't get everything in one.
Hey, come here, why don't you come here and
Sure.
Okay, I've already forgotten it. Your last name is Stevenson,
Wow, that's good. Craig,
Craig. Okay.
first.
Are you,
Welcome.
are you on, yep, are you, do you live on the island or?
We just bought a place a couple of years ago, so we're just getting going.
Yeah.
It's basically camping. This is fun.
We're glad to have you here. We usually don't get many people in the audience.
And there already.
Just being here, so-
Pardon?
Thank you.
It's just being done with some.
Happy to do it.
Thank you.
But with Alex. Lois, with Alex, you do have forum. Okay, with Alex.
Okay, great. I've got 1 minute, 30 seconds or something like that. Okay,
I'm gonna start recording. Okay.
yes. We'll call the Affordable Housing Committee meeting to order. If everybody could go around and say your names for attendance. I'm Lois Carlson.
Samantha Dobson.
Jim Peters.
Mark Pass.
And Alex is-
Alex Burner.
and Michael is on the line also. And then we have an audience member, Craig Stevens. That's Stevenson. So welcome to everybody. Okay, and we just handed a beautiful letter that that Sam has written, and I don't know if you all have gotten that. And I should say, Craig, do you have any public comments since that's on our agenda? And we also need to approve the minutes. Our last meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the July 16th, 2026 Affordable Housing Advisory Committee meeting minutes.
Second,
I'll second, but it says in number 4, next steps B, the forum is 9:40, it said 5 p.m.
Yep.
And I think we
Oh,
decided at
at
5:30.
5:30.
correct.
Otherwise, I think it looks good.
Okay, so we'll note that there should be a change on the minutes to reflect the 5:30 meeting time on September 14th.
Should be 5:30.
And with that change, we will approve or vote to approve of the minutes. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. Okay. Then, as I started to say before, we have a wonderful letter that Sam has written. I have not had an opportunity to really read it in full, but even though we will meet the Gazette deadline to get it in, it doesn't mean that the Gazette's going to be on the street prior to our September 14th meeting.
Yep.
So I think that maybe we could even post this if we're all in agreement. Maybe attach it to posting on Facebook.
Mhm.
And then we need to, and then Sam also put together a poster for us, which is very nice. I just again this now too for the first time. So
Yeah, apologies for not getting you much time to really look at it.
oh no, are you
So-
we're just glad that everybody's got time constraints, especially in the summer. But we appreciate, Sam, your effort
Sure.
in putting this together. It's really, really wonderful. But I think we can, if we approve the poster, let's get that up on the bulletin boards at the post office and probably at the church and the grocery store.
Yeah.
And, other places.
Yeah.
I'm happy to get those posted, or if somebody else wants to, whatever.
Well, I'd be happy to take these 6 or however many that were printed and on my way home, just stop at the few places that are open and tack them on the wall and
That would be great.
maybe just go from there and
Yeah.
see a place, make a poster.
Yep. Cool. Yep. So, that is the first, items primarily, that we wanted to have the Gazette article or have some informational piece.
Yeah.
And, Sam has filled that, need.
Yeah, I'll just edit the back end of it for the Gazette so that it doesn't mention the meeting that already happened.
Yep.
But
Cool, great. Then I know we talked about updated specs for modular housing at the last meeting, and I don't know if there was any, we had that as an agenda, item.
I don't really feel that it's necessary at this point in our process. I think we could move on and if we need to, we can revisit it.
Okay. And our outreach prior to the next meeting. So with these informational pieces and the posters getting posted tonight. And I think we can get something up on the Facebook page. Certainly by next week. And attach a copy of the article.
Mhm.
And maybe even just do the poster.
We'll just kind of, I guess,
Yeah.
we've got enough stuff that we can just keep kind of
Yeah.
chirping.
Yeah.
And spread it. So, do you want to, since you have these, do you want to be that person or does anybody else want to be that person?
I can post it.
Okay.
And and then with regards to the survey that John put together before, do we want to try to put some of those up also and to expand any of the information that
With the hard copies of it?
yeah,
See why not? Just a matter of doing.
okay.
I think we all agreed, right? That it was okay.
Where would people access those?
I think at the
office?
post office and just have, especially as you're coming in the door on the right, just take a manila folder
Oh, right.
and stack, maybe 20 years
Yeah.
ago in there and
Yeah.
see if we get any responses and they can just fold it and leave it. It's anonymous anyway.
Yeah.
But at least it will clue us in as to what people's needs are and how any interest, specific interests that we're not aware of.
It may be worth putting one at the library. They'll often
Yeah.
put like timely information on the center table, the
Yeah.
entry. And that'd be a great place to pop it around that board.
Okay,
They do have a posting board in the
Yep.
entryway, so we
Yep.
can put the other information there.
Yeah.
Okay.
forget about that.
Yeah.
bulletin board. Okay, and I know that I had spoken or that Keisha had specifically addressed wanting to put together a resource compilation, which we haven't done this month, and hopefully
Mhm.
we can get something put together prior to the meeting if people want to access any of that information.
What, I have questions on that is, who are we targeting? I mean, are we looking at? This is for people to access funds, basically, to get things done. So are we looking at homeowners? Are we looking at renters? And I looked into it a little bit and it's very income.
Mhm.
Specific.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that if we do something like this, we'll need to include those guidelines for people so they know right away. I mean, if you don't qualify income wise, there's no sense looking into those kind of funds.
Could we make like categories in it where it's like, if you're a business, if you're like someone who owns property and rents, or you're a low income or like of this income? Do you know what I mean? Cause there's,
Yeah, that makes
'cause
sense.
there's grants for all that.
Mhm.
And we've talked about, folks that do employee housing and finding money to do upgrades and stuff like that.
So maybe if we can categorize what specifically the groups that Kelly Westland mentioned in her presentation. And, just have names, contact numbers, and have subheadings
mhm,
for specific
mhm.
groups within.
Well, I'll get a hold of Keisha and see if we can put something together. So we'll have it for the September
Okay,
14th.
that would be great.
I know Alex had spent a little time digging too. I don't know if he had put
Yeah,
together.
I looked at it a little bit. I still want to look through like all of it. And I was basically going to do something like that as I went through it, is just kind of see like what would be pertinent to certain people, depending on what we just like what you're just talking about. Like what incomes they have and what would they, yeah, like kind of categorize everything and organize it. But I haven't gotten to that yet, but I plan on going through all of that and just looking at it a little more closely.
Great, that's very helpful. And so funding outreach and funding intake approaches, I think that might be more than we're ready to bite off at this point, but
And it'd be nice to have Keisha in this conversation, 'cause she does have a lot of ideas
okay.
for that.
And then employer contact, does somebody want to take that on specifically, or do we each want to take an employer or talk to, whomever might be interested? I mean, I'm happy to talk to people from the museum, and we're kind of hoping to build at least a small structure to house our guest folks. But it'll be a while, 2 years maybe before that gets done. I'm not certain on the timeline of it, but it'd be great to, I don't know if we could get Bob Hartzell to come or
So would it be worthwhile, I mean, I could go around to the businesses right in town
Okay.
and give them some of, tell them about the meeting and such, but also give them a poster like this.
I think that's a great idea.
Would we give them the housing survey too?
Might as
Sure.
well,
And would we give them a copy of this letter too?
Yes.
yeah,
Okay,
might as well.
Yeah, nice packet.
well, I'll try and see if I can get, 10 or 12 copies of that and just hit the local businesses in town.
That would be great. I'm happy to help.
Okay.
To,
What I'll do, I won't be doing, it'll be next week. I'll hit some of the businesses and then I'll let you know who I have contacted.
great,
And then you can maybe take it from there if there's more that you'd like to
yeah,
do. Okay.
very good. Okay, and then, we spoke about the other nonprofit groups on the island that might be interested in discussion of the sort or partnering in some way. And I don't know, I don't think anybody contacted anyone this one.
No, but there is, I don't know if this is pertinent to that. Yeah, well, never mind my comment. Fine.
Maybe we'll just keep that in our sights, and continue to see how, we might bring in other people into the discussions. Okay, that's pretty much what I had for the agenda. Is there any discussion on?
Well,
these?
I was just gonna ask, because we're not gonna meet before or will we meet before the next discussion?
I would kind of like to get a meeting in before, you think? I mean.
Well, otherwise, I was gonna say I have a number of questions if we don't.
Yeah,
Um,
I would like to, get that, work with everybody here if we did maybe a meeting prior to that. Let me pull up a calendar so I know what timing.
because if, it's a question of moderator and list of questions and format and who's leading. I guess those are my questions for that.
Folks, when is the 14th? What day is
It's not a Monday, it's the second Monday of September. Would we want to meet on Thursday, the 10th?
For me,
So if that works for others, schedule a meeting for Thursday, the 10th at 5. But I also agree having a moderator would be,
Mhm. It went so nicely last time.
yeah,
Is the tenth open, Max?
Yes.
And, you're probably gonna have to get a moderator, Joe, much sooner than the 10th, so.
yeah. Um, and I don't know that, I mean, I can invite Kelly again. And I don't, I feel a little that it might be pressing on her time, I'm not certain, but, do we have a second choice if Kelly is unavailable?
I seem to be pretty, glad to be here last time. And didn't there a little bit of a question come up before she left about, would you be interested in coming back again? And I remember her not saying no.
Okay,
It's worth asking.
okay. I thought I read hesitancy in her
Okay.
response, but,
She was a good resource. It's just
fabulous
unfortunate there weren't more people there to take advantage of her
expertise.
expertise.
But like we have said before, I think that, coming into September, where we're looking at the winter months and the lack of housing and the questions come up again and and we were competing with absolutely a beautiful day, which had been a shortage of, in springtime. And so
I
hopefully, I don't want it to rain on our meeting, but,
It is, yeah.
I thought about that and we had that discussion. And personally, if I had to carve out 2 hours out of my day to ensure that I had a place to live in the winter, it could have been an absolutely perfect day and I would have been there.
Mhm.
And it left me wondering how much the community wants what we think they want.
So you felt that was like a direct reflection on the interest?
Well, like, for instance,
Mhm.
anybody here, if you, I mean, we can make excuses for it, and we can say it was too nice a day,
Mhm.
or it was a busy time of the year, but this wasn't like going to a movie. This was like, this is gonna affect the rest of my life, and I got a chance to be part of it. And if only one couple chose to be there,
Mhm.
then all these people that we think that we are here to serve, maybe we're wasting our time.
Yeah.
Maybe people are not needing stuff like we think. So as long as I'm on my soapbox, this will be my last chance to be on it. So Jim and I have been at this for a pretty long time and we've gone down a lot of different roads. And the dead end or the stop that we always end up with is the money. There's no other way to look at it. It always comes down to money. And we have pretty well determined that we're not going to get the money from somebody else. It's not going to be like Washburn,
Mhm.
where Sinair came in and built the place. And now it turns out they probably could build 2 or 3 more. But we're just not big enough.
Yeah.
And we also use the excuse that we're on an island, but I think it's just that we're not big enough. If we had enough demand, somebody would figure out how to factor in riding the ferry over to build it. But it always ends up being about money. And so Sam did a very great job of laying out the path that we need to be on. If we are going to sell this to investors, and they will most probably be local people. Uh, We need something to sell. And the questions will be, Sam answered, you know, you tickled it a little bit with your poster, you got some pictures and you talked about the land. But the other question that they're gonna say was, who's gonna live there? And we don't know that. And we did ask, and you know, maybe this next meeting we'll get 10 people instead of 2. But if we don't, I think we have to take another look at what are we doing here?
Yeah.
People, and when we ask people how much they can afford, it doesn't seem to align with even the most optimistic estimates of what it'll cost to build. So somebody will have to buy the capital cost. If it costs $1 million to build and the rent will only cover the first 300,000, then somebody's gonna have to invest 700 grand. And it will have to be with no expectation of it coming back. It will just need to be a reduction of capital cost. And, in order to, it's not that that can't happen, and I suspect that we have some people on the island who, could help make that happen. But they don't just hand over the checkbook and say, do whatever you want. They need information. And so this part about finding out who feels to me like it is huge. And, you know, we did that survey, but it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like if there were really that many people waiting, somebody would have been at our meeting. So. Anyway, I want to bring everybody's attention back to the basics. Basics is the who is gonna live there and how are we gonna, who's gonna subsidize it? And all the rest of this is just noise,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I have helped create an awful lot of noise in the last 5 or 6 years. And we just always end up against stuff.
You're tired of making noise.
And
I understand.
I think this is, I mean, I don't think there's any question that our community could use this.
Mhm.
But I think investors need more than the gut feelings that we all have.
Yeah. I think that's fair. And the question is, how do we get that promise from the people who need it? You know, like how, the validation that it is still necessary and wanted and will be bought.
Well, and one of the things that has occurred to me, you know, we hired Maxfield and they came well recommended. But their job is to, I mean, we needed them to say that there was a need before we had an excuse to continue.
Okay.
And I don't think it's just us. I think that is a niche that Maxfield fills. If you don't have a study that says you need this, then you got no reason to continue. And so I think that maybe part of their methodology may be a little flawed. I mean, maybe they gave us what we asked for, what we needed them to say. But I wonder how many of the people that didn't show up at our meeting responded to them 5 years ago. Wonder where they got their information.
Certainly, I know, Hillary and the kids they moved away.
Yeah.
But they were looking for years. And so I don't know how many people that we've lost throughout time because they keep hitting a dead end too. So,
Well, and I don't, I don't know the dynamics and, the big picture with each family that has come or gone or whatever. But, somehow or another, I think that people that we think that we're here to serve need to speak louder. And I don't know how to. Hey, Sam, I kind of sense that you are maybe closer
Mm.
to them.
Mhm.
You're sort of their peer.
Mhm.
And maybe you can figure out a way to get them to talk or get them to show or get them to say.
Yeah, and there was no lack of me trying, for the first one. So
And
I feel you. I feel you because I did do the communication with them and then there were definitely a number of them in the conversation that I thought would come. Two did. So, but I hear you. I hear you. And I will keep on it.
Well, it's interesting, we think there's this great need. And yet these people seem to get by every year somehow. It's not ideal, I know that. But
Yeah.
they get by. So how important is it for them?
it would be
We don't
just
We don't really know. And I keep wondering too, we have these grand visions of building all these wonderful apartments, houses. So is that really what we should be focusing on? Or should we go back to what we talked about at a couple of previous meetings? And that's trying to help people. Here's a gentleman that just moved to the island, has property on the island. He's camping. He probably wants to build some kind of a structure at some day. Should we be trying to help him build a house?
Yeah.
Or build whatever, so they can live here? And for people that work here, it's the same thing. They are working and moving around. Would they, and some of them have property.
Yeah.
And they can't afford to build because they can't get a loan, blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah.
should we be doing, what do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I think we should be helping anyone for like there's everyone's in various different situations. Like for me, I recently bought a piece of property, but it's going to be slow developing it because I don't have the funds to do everything right away. And then the last I don't know 7-8 years or whatever, I've been I move twice a year. I live in a camper. I have to find a spot to put that, and then once it gets cold, then I have to find a place to rent. It's just that. I know other people that are in my same situation. But yeah, I think all those people should be helped. And I think some of those resources that we got, from that meeting will be able to help people that are in various different situations.
So when I started on the committee, I came in with this question, can we do this? And that there was this kind of like, let's table that and let's focus on this. So is it a change of mission as a committee to do something like that? Or like, I'm just wondering, like, how do you go about like just completely changing course?
I don't think it's a change of mission, but I think it's as through discussion and fact finding, there are things that seem more evident than others.
Okay.
And more easily attainable perhaps than clearing land
Mhm.
and building multiple structures. So.
Okay.
It's
just a change of conversation.
Yeah, yeah, it's not, but again, coming back to kind of getting the contacts list or the, what do they call it? The compilation status, resource compilation. That, you know, that could be another addition to that list of resources where can, you know, whatever the specific kinds of questions that someone like Craig would have that are looking
Yeah. Yeah.
for answers to questions.
Okay.
And if you were going to change directions or change the conversation or whatever, if the focus becomes somebody bought a piece of property, but they can't afford to build a house, can't afford to drill a well, can't afford to make a foundation or build a house or, and, I think you would have to repackage the way that that is presented to the community. Because, part of that looks just like, you know, nobody did that for me. You know,
Yeah,
kind
there
of.
was, but there's been history of this before. Mike Anderson had said that there was a foundation and they just recently dissolved it that existed. With a fund, a pool of money for people that needed assistance, and it was on a be basis, and you would write into the committee and they would gather, deliberate, and decide on a set of criteria they had. And it existed years ago, and he didn't have any, it happened so long ago that there's no like, they don't have notes or information we can pull from. It's more just anecdotal. But historically, that culture did exist though of wanting to help. So it'd be interesting to have a conversation with him
Yeah.
and hear what he has to say about it.
And
But that's what kind of gave me hope of like, oh, well, okay, this existed before.
and
So
maybe it could be, maybe the function of this group could, in that particular instance, the function could be, this is a place that has their finger on some resources, some options. Maybe if your income falls between such and such and you have a family this size and you're employed or not or whatever, then there is some kind of an assistance available, like a low interest loan or a grant or
Hmm.
whatever.
You're an
so
EMS
maybe
member.
This could be a place, maybe this could be like a sort of an information clearing center for that kind of thing, where people could come in and ask for counseling or whatever however you want to put it,
Mhm.
ask for help. And if you could ever find out about that organization that Mike was talking about, that'd be interesting to know. So it had to be
Get
funded
names.
and administered.
Yeah,
That's-
he's rattled off the names of who, I didn't know any of the names, so I'll get him to write it down, who
Okay.
people were, and it really was just folks who wanted to give, and they gave to a specific cause and fund, and that's how it was functioned. It wasn't complicated in how he described it. It was really a really open-ended thing, but the goal was for homeowner assistance in building. Yeah,
Well,
so,
you find out what happens on the 14th.
yeah.
And then it's, maybe you can think, well, we got enough steam here to move forward, or nobody came this time either, and so we gotta think about something else.
I think it's a good pivot. It's a good spot where we can have that discussion, and then we've gone through the motion. at that point, so.
And I also think that businesses need to really consider this depending on, you know, but we've got, who knows who's gonna own what and what, you know, I'd love to see some more opportunities coming into the island for commercial destinations and
Opening businesses and whatnot. Or,
opening business.
yeah,
And you know, we've lost a number of businesses.
Yeah.
Over the last, 5 to 10 years, and just, I'm not gonna name names, but we all know that some of these business owners aren't getting any younger, and what's gonna happen? How's that going to affect the whole trajectory? And I mean, I'm really glad to see that we got some improvements done on the school. But to have a healthy community, all of these things need to balance out, including having places for people to live. And so the conversation continues.
Well, this community has never ceases to surprise me how much generosity and will to take care of everybody. It's just nonstop. And so it's a good place for it to be happening. And the conversation won't be surprising. And people will be listening. But there are just about every nonprofit organization and probably most for-profit organizations are kind of having to rethink the way that they operate. Because the people who have been the check writers that support the nonprofits are dying.
Yeah.
And leaving. And the people that are of your generation either have less will or less resources to do it, or some combination of it. And
yeah, just unable to get.
so everybody that has any kind of a crystal ball is looking into the future and saying, "Wow, we got to figure out how to operate differently." When we think about collaborating with other nonprofits, it'd be like, who's going to save who from?
Yeah.
Anyway. I hope so.
So this is Michael. I want to say, in case
Hey,
you
Michael.
don't know, I mean, this is my last meeting. My term is up, and we have an accepted offer on our house. So if this sells at the end of the month, that will be my physical disconnection from the island. And so I don't think it's appropriate for me to be continuing on this committee when I think we've learned through the years that the real solution is going to have to come from the island. We've tried the conventional routes and, using outside resources, and it's just not going to happen in the foreseeable future. So, I would agree with 95%, I think, of what Mark said. It's like, we're going to have to find solutions from within the island. And I offered some suggestions last meeting about, how to begin to use some of the wealth that's on the island and who to begin to talk with to make sure that, the generation that has wealth can transfer it in a way that sustains the future of the island. And, Mark, I understand, and Sam, I understand, where are these people? I mean, the reality is we know who they are and where they are. The faces and names may or may not change, but the need never changes. Alex, I don't know you personally, I don't think, and I don't think I know all of your story, but, we have a little bit in common. And I can tell you that I never found moving multiple times a year fun. And you might get better at it, but it's never fun.
No, yeah, I mean, it gets easier. I mean, in the sense that I've you're just repeating it, but still, you know, it's a lot of work. It's stressful. Yeah, it really wears on you. Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, so, I mean, I think it's great you've got land. I wish you a lot of success in, you know, building your little corner of the island. But what this committee has tried to do is, you know, whether it's a stepping stone or whether it's a recognition of it's a real uphill climb to do this on your own. And the whole purpose of, you know, doing something on the city and the town land and building a little community there is, as Mark alluded to, I mean, share the costs. I mean, to have one well instead of 10 wells, to have connected to the sanitary system instead of everybody digging holding tanks. I mean, that's reduces the cost up front and it reduces the cost long term, which means it makes affordability long term and sustainable. And I get it that it gets disheartening, or, you know, how many dead ends do we go down or whatever. But you got to stay focused. That's what we're trying to achieve. We're trying to give people an opportunity to get out of the cycle that Alex and others we know are in, and to at least give them stability for the time being. And if then they're able to, you know, go off on their own, quote unquote, and, you know, build on their own land, that's what the island dream is, right? But we know that the market doesn't support that. And so we've got to find an island way to make it happen for the people who make the island happen. That to me is what my focus has always been. And I think with this committee's focus, you know, it's just sometimes hard to keep working through the obstacles. And as far as the people, you know, the reality is that it takes one or two people to really be committed. I mean, when Mark and Jim, you guys remember when Maria Ionazo did a lot of, you know, face-to-face and outreach with people. And, you know, that's who Maxfield learned a lot from. That's who I learned a lot from. And so just figure out how to do it in a way that works for the island and with the island. I will continue to be a resource if anybody wants to call me. Certainly I've got historical knowledge. We've got these modular homes being built right here where I live, and we're putting up 2 of them as we speak, and we're getting them in under $250,000, and they're 1,300 square feet foot houses. And, you know, it's a viable alternative. Obviously that would cost more on the island, but it's a viable alternative to get a start for people. And so if you know, this committee decides that really is a route to go, give me a call. I know the people I can connect you with, and, you know, we can get these wholesale prices on these buildings. It's been, I'd say it's been great being a part of this committee. I'm sorry we haven't made the progress we all have been working for and thought about, and I'm glad to see new people are continuing, you know, Sam and Alex and others are continuing to try to solve this problem. And I wish you my best.
We want to thank you, Ed and Katie, for all your work on this committee, and we appreciate you both. Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
Yeah. Thanks.
Congratulations on selling your house.
Yeah.
Now, you know, it's still 2 weeks to go, so you never know.
Yeah. Right. We'll keep our fingers crossed if that
Yeah.
happens.
Every time treasury bonds go up, I get nervous, but
Yeah.
because there's always contingencies from the buyers. So, but thank you.
Okay, is there any other new business at all?
I think we have to think about getting some new members on our committee. Although I'd hate to see Mark leave. I mean, just today's meeting, you gave us a lot of insight and a lot of good ideas, and I would really like to see you stay on. I know you're kind
These
of,
chairs are more
Look at it.
comfortable than those.
And I mean, you do really have a different perspective than a
Yeah.
lot of us, and it really, I mean,
Yeah.
I just look at what you talked about today. I mean, it really helps to keep moving.
And
Yeah.
to have the gravitas and background that you have, with the past, studies is really
Well,
important.
I appreciate that. If you need me sometime in the future, let me know, and maybe, but I have quite a few balls in the air and I'm starting to miss out on some retired time.
Yeah.
And so, and to be honest with you, I've been embarrassed, for the last 6 months, I really haven't contributed anything to this group. And that's not how I like to serve. And it wasn't because of anything but my own, between being busy and sort of just, I could feel myself just kind of
Tired,
losing
enthusiasm.
the resolve. So I think it's time for me to stay with it. I did a fair amount of wrestling thinking about this. But thank you all for all you do. And I will be cheering you on, and I, just like Mike said, I'll be happy to be a resource. And if at some time, I need to re-engage to help something that I have a skill set, perhaps. But it's time.
Well, a big thank you to you for everything you've done. We
Oh.
appreciate you.
And thank you all. It is quite dear to my heart.
Well, we will definitely contact you if we think you
Yeah.
can help us in any way. So
Please do.
thanks for being there. So we do need to get some new members up and, other than, the blurb you see in the Gazette, or notices at the post office that committees are looking for members. I think the best way to do it actually is for us to contact people that we know might have an interest. So
Yeah.
I think we need to do that to keep this committee going.
And if I can make a suggestion, I would suggest that you be especially intentional about who you recruit. You don't need bodies. You need people that have some kind of a
Relevant
gift to bring to
experience.
the table
Yeah.
and some passion for it. And this is hard work, and it's only going to get harder. And so I think we have burned through quite a few people that had a pretty good skill sets. And some of them may or may not be people that can be re-engaged, but you really need, like, everybody would think that this is a good idea, but it's different than having some part of their skill set that intersects with what you really need to find out who it is that you're serving and figure out how to present a really interesting plan to investors. I don't think there's much else to do. Like I said, we can make a lot of other noise, but if you you need to refine those pictures like this. And then you need to say who's going to live in all those houses, not by name, but you need to kind of be able to say, we have talked to, and they will come, and can afford, and they have income sources that can allow them to pay all year round. And so you got to figure out a way to present package like any other investor would look at. And they don't like empty spaces. They like, and they have good questions. So I think anything else you do is just wasting your time.
Appreciate your perspective.
Thanks.
Okay, then if there is no other new business, I will adjourn our meeting at, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay. Motion is made and seconded and carries. The meeting is adjourned.